remote hearing of the Capital Investment Committee for March 6th is called to order. This remote hearing is taking place in accordance with House Rule 10.01 and is being live streamed by the House Public Information Office. Mr. Linczewski, please take the roll.
Members, you may unmute yourself when your name is called. Representative Fooley.
Lee, present.
Representative Fooley, present. Representative Mary Murphy. Representative Dean Urdahl.
Urdahl, present.
Representative Dean Urdahl, present. Representative Esther Abaje.
Present.
Representative Esther Abaje, present. Representative Kayla Berg.
Present.
Representative Kayla Berg, present. Representative Greg Davids.
Davids, present.
Representative Greg Davids, present. Representative Keith Franke.
Franke, present.
Representative Keith Franke, present. Representative Mike Freiberg.
Present.
Representative Mike Freiberg, present. Representative Rick Hansen.
Present.
Representative Rick Hansen, present. Representative John Hewitt.
Present.
Representative John Hewitt, present. Representative Leon Lilly.
Lily, present.
Representative Leon Lilly, present. Representative Eric Lucero.
Yes.
Representative Eric Lucero, present. Representative Rena Moran.
Present.
Representative Rena Moran, present. Representative Nels Pearson.
Pearson, present.
Representative Nels Pearson, present. Representative Donald Raleigh.
Raleigh, present.
Representative Donald Raleigh, present. Representative Jordan Rasmussen.
Rasmussen, present.
Representative Jordan Rasmussen, present. Representative Liz Ryer.
Present.
Representative Liz Ryer, present. Representative Nolan West.
West, present.
Representative Nolan West, present. Representative Jay Zhang.
Here.
Representative Jay Zhang, present. Representative Mary Murphy.
Murphy, present.
Representative Mary Murphy, present. Members, with the conclusion of the roll call, please mute your devices. A quorum is present.
Thank you, Mr. Linczewski. A quorum is present. Representative Murphy, can I have a motion to approve the minutes for March 25th?
Mr. Chair, I move approval of the minutes for March 25th as printed.
Representative Murphy moves approval of the minutes for March 25th. Any discussions? Hearing none, those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The motion prevails and the minutes for March 25th are approved. Members, we will hear several bonding projects and modification on an informational only basis today. The bills have been allotted 5 minutes each with one testifier. I hope that the modification to previous bonding authorization can go even quicker, but we will need to strictly enforce the 5-minute time limit. After all the presentation, we will get an update from the Department of Human Services on the governor's supplemental bonding recommendation for the Minnesota Sex Offender Program over at St. Peter, and from MMB on Federal American Rescue Plan funds. The first two bills on the agenda are Representative Pinto's. Welcome to the committee, Representative Pinto. First bill is House File 2318. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. The first bill before you, House File 2318, relates to the Great River Passage River Learning Center. I'm joined by Mary DeLate, who's the Executive Director of the Great River Passage Conservancy, and just want to note this is a really exciting project, not only for the Metro, but beyond. I'll have Ms. DeLate describe the project and then just have a few comments at the end.
Ms. DeLate, please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
My name is Mary DeLate. I'm the Executive Director of the Great River Passage Conservancy. So thank you, Chair Lee, committee members, and Representative Pinto. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. There we go. Can you all see it? I'm here today to present the River Learning Center National Park Service headquarters, a landmark facility where people can experience the land, water, and culture of the Mississippi River. The Mississippi River is our life support system. Oh, hold on one second. There we go. The river is one of the world's 3 major river systems in terms of size, habitat diversity, and biological productivity. It's one of the world's most important commercial waterways. It drains 40% of North America, provides drinking water to 50 cities along the length of the river, and is one of North America's great migration routes for 60% of all birds. Our history, culture, health, and well-being are inextricably linked to the river. We also have the dual distinction of Minnesota being the headwaters state with the source at Lake Itasca, and we have more river than any other state along the length. And St. Paul is the river capital with more river, river edge, and publicly owned land than any city the length of the Mississippi River. It's within this context that the site of the River Learning Center is a strategic city-owned location within a stone's throw of multiple regional destinations, including the Minneapolis-St. Paul Airport, Mall of America, and Fort Snelling. The site is an amazing convergence of national and regional park, sensitive riparian ecology, existing recreation and transportation systems, significant and sacred Dakota sites, and equally as important, safe access to the river with 2 existing bays, which is highly unusual, the length of the river, certainly in the metro area. Imagine a forward-thinking, small-scale, light-on-the-land building and a surrounding landscape that supports programming while simultaneously addressing restoration, conservation, and resilience in this highly disturbed yet dynamic river landscape. Also imagine 4-season, all-ages programming where you can take ranger-led walks, participate in science experiments, go fishing, and participate in Dakota cultural learning experiences. This project is going to be a model for equitable development. So we at the Conservancy are a member of the Highline Network, which is a network of 40 organizations leading transformative civic projects across North America and Mexico. As part of this membership, we were one of 6 organizations selected to be part of the Equitable Impact Framework Initiative, where we received 12 months of technical assistance from Harvard and the Urban Institute to determine what equitable development means for the organization, for the projects, and for the city, and how to implement these things. We have also developed a long-term relationship with the Dakota, investigating what true partnership will mean, particularly around this project. Our goal is to create a beautiful, safe, accessible, and welcoming place where for all, where we develop generations of stewards who will care for the river and our future. To this end, we've laid a sustainable foundation for success. We have established public and private partnerships and put in place the supporting agreements, for instance, between the city, who is the owner of this project, and the National Park Service, who will be the tenant. We have completed technical feasibility and programming studies, and we have established public-private joint fundraising partnership to look at the full spectrum of funding opportunities, everything from federal earmarks, which we've just submitted a proposal for dredging, to independent individuals, foundations, and corporations. Today, we're asking again for $3 million to cover design, site evaluation, and site preparation. This is a one-of-a-kind opportunity to build a landmark facility for Minnesota. As I've shown, we are all the river, and I hope you'll consider investing in our future. Thank you, Chair Lee.
Thank you, Ms. DeLay. Chair Pinto, any quick closing comment on this bill?
Mr. Chair, I know that we're already at the 5-minute mark. My next bill is actually going to be shorter, and so I'll just take a few seconds just to note the equitable component of this. This is going to allow school children in the city to be able to get right into the river, have a canoe that they get right into right on the shore. And I'll note that this is a pretty short walk from a place in my district where there's a lot of new American families, a lot of lower income families, and to have this opportunity where they live right by the river but cannot get into the river, we really need to rectify that. This is an extraordinary project, and it's been one that's been awaiting some support for a while, and we really would love to have the committee support this year. Thank you so much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair Pinto. Next up is House File 2310. Chair Pinto, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members.
Sorry, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. And again, I will use up less of the total 10 minutes that you've allotted me here between these two bills. The bill before you, this second bill, is one that funds an account with the Department of Human Services to address another critical need that is throughout every single one of our districts, which is to make sure that we have childcare and early learning facilities. I would hope the members are aware of the major crises that we have in this area in your districts, where families are finding that childcare and early learning are extremely expensive and tough to access, and providers are paid very, very little poverty wages. And so what this account does is to make sure that we can have support for facilities in all of our districts. I'm happy to talk more about it, but I see that Representative Urdahl has a question and would love to engage in that, Mr. Chair.
Representative Urdahl.
Thank you, Chair Lee and Representative Pinto. Is this an extension of the bill that Representative Rand had last year and that I was signed on to?
Chair Pinto.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Representative Urdahl, this is actually a companion to that. So I believe that the committee has heard a proposal from Representative Olson this year, which is the follow-on to the bill from Representative Brand that you signed on to. That would establish an account within DEED. This is actually a pre-existing account within DHS that needs funding as well. This would actually act in concert with that proposal that you had signed on to for Representative Brand to make sure that we're really covered throughout the state and such a critical need that we have.
Representative Urdahl.
Okay, thank you.
And
Go ahead,
Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And so members, again, you'll note there's a blank appropriation. We know that there's a lot that needs to be addressed in your decisions as a committee, Mr. Chair, members. But I simply want to note that this is an area that where the economics just do not work so often for child care and early learning providers. And what this committee can do is to make sure that at least that physical infrastructure is in place for child care providers. They then have to figure out the operating costs. There's other pieces we're dealing with there, but there's such a critical need for that capital and for those the physical facilities. Mr. Chair, members, thank you so much for the consideration of this bill and the previous one. And I really appreciate all the work that you've been doing on these projects. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair Pinto. And before you leave, Mr. Andy Lee, can you just provide the committee a context of the funding that we have had for this program over the years? Is that something that you can pull up right now?
Yeah, Mr. Chair and members, give me just a moment. I can pull up the history on the DHS program. So going back to 2000, this particular program received, make sure I have the right one, $3 million in 2000, $500,000 in 2006, $1.9 million in 2011, $3 million in 2014, and that looks like all of the grants that I have tracked.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. And Chair Pinto, I just wanted Mr. Lee to bring that up just to show how crucial this is and that we haven't really put any appropriations into the program. And so I'm hopeful that we could consider that as we move forward. So thank you, Chair Pinto.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair and members. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Next up, we have Chair Hausman, House File 2225. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. First of all, I'm bringing a project at Gibbs Farm, where Minnesota's children are taught about a part of Minnesota history. Across the street, I should mention, is the Bell Museum, where Minnesota children are taught about the state's natural history. And so it's been a nice cooperative effort that it's allowed for some joint work. I'm going to save all my time for the testifier.
We have Mr. Roberts. Please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Absolutely. My name is Chad Roberts. I am the president of the Ramsey County Historical Society, and I am pleased to be here today. Thank you, Chair Lee. Thank you, Representative Hausman, and thank you, committee members. Ramsey County Historical Society was founded in the preservation of Gibbs Farm, and Gibbs Farm opened to the public in 1954. It's been operating for 67 years in terms of serving students. The reality with Gibbs Farm is it's a unique facility. It serves a broad region in the metro area, as well as from western, central Minnesota, southern Minnesota. Kids and educators come from all over the place. And it's a seasonal facility, so we're operating at capacity and have been for years And we've been in the planning process for about 5 years now to develop additional facilities so we could operate year-round and serve more students. And our request today would transform what we're doing at Gibbs Farm and allow us to serve 30,000 students a year, about 300,000 over the next decade if we are successful in this funding request. And in addition to tours, that would include an after-school program for 200 students a day, a lot of programming with our partners, including Dakota Wishohan, the Bell Museum, the Good Acre, and a variety of others. And we are looking forward to being able to do that. And by going year-round, we'll have that capacity. So our program is particularly effective. We know from studies at Rice University that students on field trips perform better academically across the board in all measures. So we're very excited to be able to continue doing that. We know that our work with the Dakota people has been something we started 21 years ago in terms of when that program was introduced at Gibbs Farm. And it was done so not only with the blessing of Dakota elders and culture bearers, but with their guidance and assistance. And those are relationships that we've maintained through today. Okay, and that's really important for us. And we like to tell the story of the Dakota people through their own voices. That is, in fact, how we think various cultures should be approached. So we've been active in our DEAI work quite actively for a number of years now, and have been one of the very first museums in the country to participate in something called Facing Change, which is a nationwide effort to improve board diversity. And 25% of our board is comprised of BIPOC individuals. For our historical society, that is a significant number. Regardless, what I'm showing on the screen right now is our Dakota Land Acknowledgement Statement, and this is also in the package materials we sent out to everybody. We anticipate continuing to work with our Dakota partners, and part of this expansion, in addition to new facilities for our use directly, is maintaining space that we currently have set aside for sweat lodge and other Dakota cultural programming, including traditional funerals that will be set aside in the new space. And that will be controlled by our Dakota partners. With that, I just want to mention our request is for $7 million, and Ramsey County has committed to matching that. And we are also raising money on top of that for non-bondable causes, program development and whatnot. And to that end, the National Endowment for the Humanities is providing a $750,000 matching grant for that effort, particularly around a collections facility that we want to build. And that's a really important bit of investment for us, because it means that nationwide they reviewed our program and believe that it is worthy of that investment. So we're pretty proud of that. We are looking forward to moving forward with this project.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Chair Hausman, any quick closing comments on this bill?
No closing comments other than to thank you for hearing this. We have actually been bringing this for several years, and are hoping that perhaps this is the year that, that we can build this center and serve more children.
Thank you, Chair Hausman. Next up, we are moving on to your draft language code CG098. This is a modification to the 2020 bonding bill, so please proceed, Chair Hausman.
Yes, and I have dropped that in the hopper, but given this week's delay, unfortunately, we haven't processed it on the floor yet. This is modification of language. We often do that as we revisit a project. On behalf of Avivo, I have to say I have had great pleasure in working with this organization, an outstanding organization, an outstanding leader, and Avivo is all about saving lives. I'll save all my time for the testifier.
Ms. Matter, please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Thank you, Chair Lee, members of the committee, and Representative Hausman. For the record, my name is Kelly Matter, and I'm the president and CEO of Avivo. Thank you for inviting me to testify before your committee this morning, and for your support of Avivo and our work. Last session, Avivo received an appropriation from the bond proceeds to fund a grant to Hennepin County for phase 1 of an enhancement and expansion project of Avivo's regional career training in substance use and mental health treatment campus based in Minneapolis. As Representative Hausman stated, I'm here today to ask for an amendment to the language of our original bill. We are seeking to remove the demolition and site work from our pre-design project. Best practice guidance from our fiscal sponsor, Hennepin County, is suggesting that we include demolition as part of the construction phase of our project and not the pre-design phase. The amended bill that I believe you all have has these changes in it. Thank you so much, Chair Lee and members of the committee. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Matter. Chair Hausman, any closing comments on this modification?
No closing comments other than to thank you again for giving us this time and for your consideration.
Thank you, Chair Hausman. Next up, we have Representative Demuth. Welcome to the committee. I understand that you have a bill modification to the 2020 bonding bill as too. So please proceed.
Thank you, Chair Lee. I appreciate you hearing House File 2043. This seeks to amend the appropriation for the Jacob Wetterling Recreation Center located in St. Joseph, Minnesota. Chair Lee, and committee members, I do have two testifiers on the line. If I could go ahead and turn my time over to them.
So we'll have Mayor Schultz proceed. And if there's any other questions, then we could have your other testifier. Please proceed, Mayor Schultz.
Thank you, Chair Lee, Representative Demuth. Good morning, one and all. This is Rick Schultz, Mayor of St. Joseph. I speak in favor of the presented bill. Our community rec center project was presented as a combination of existing structure remodel and a new activity center construction. It was designed, architected, and presented as such. With the many delays of last year's session, the current tenant in the existing structure, a child care provider, approached the city with intent to purchase. This was prior to any bonding bill being passed. Council and I agreed to sell the building and went forward with the lot split and purchase agreement. After such time, the bonding bill was passed with language worded recreation center as an addition to the former school building. The sale of that building makes the bonding bill language inaccurate. This legislation amendment to the appropriation allows the city to continue with the community and recreation center project in a new building. Our community goals have not changed, but the design certainly will. The components of the community center remodel will be placed in the new facility. I want to thank you all for your time. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Mayor Schultz. Representative Demuth, any closing comments?
Closing comments, just thank you again, Chair Lee and committee members for hearing this. This is a very important project to the city of St. Joseph. I appreciate the support in the past and your consideration of this amendment.
Thank you, Representative Demuth. Next up, we have Representative Sandstede, House File 2322. Please proceed, Representative Sandstede.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members. Mr. Chair, I do have one oral amendment I would like to offer. I know this is informational. On line 2.16, the very last word of that line is may. I would like to change it to must. And House File 2322 is a bill dealing with the Canisteo Flood Mitigation Project. With me today, I have Leo Trunt, and I will turn my time over to him if that's okay.
Commissioners Trunt, please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Leo Trunt. I'm Tassett County Commissioner for District 3, representing the area affected. And with me today is also Nancelyn Meyer-Nail, Bovee City Councilor. Thank you for your time. Just a little background information in regards to this bill. The water has been rising in this legacy group of historic mine pits north of Coleraine, Bovee, and Taconite cities. The rising water has created a situation in which control measures are necessary to protect the public safety, property, and water quality. The area that contains the water and the minerals underlying it in the watershed in which the water flows from the pit are predominantly owned and controlled by the state and state entities. The pit water is now the desired safe outlet elevation. However, the water will continue to rise at an estimated 5 to 7 feet per year unless water control measures are properly installed, which could result in about 2.5 years of uncontrolled water outflow to downstream cities and a nearby freshwater lake. Postponement or delay in improving the construction of this project adds costs to the project because the water would need to be pumped down to the correct elevation for constructing the outlet, and also results in increasing threat to the public safety, property, and water quality. None of the involved stakeholders of the communities and townships or the DNR have the funding and leasing for the construction and operating of this and the maintenance costs. Based on the projected time needed for construction and placement into operations, when considering projected water level and rate of rise, bond funding and operating and maintenance appropriation should be provided during this legislative session. The surface flooding, saturated soils, and seepage into homes in the Bovee area, increased property and infrastructure damage and water quality deterioration is likely to occur, especially in and downstream of the city of Bovee, if mitigation procedures and measures are not properly taken. A drain tile system was installed in 2010, but it was not intended to handle the complete water volume, but merely to try to deal with some of the flooded basements in the area. and will likely become overwhelmed in the next 2.5 years unless a proposed outlet is constructed. A solution to create a safe water outlet has been developed and needs state bond funding for the state to lease, engineer, construct, and manage construction of the water outlet. An appropriation is also requested for system operation and maintenance costs because there will be costs to operate the system after it is constructed to maintain a safe water level. The involved stakeholders feel that this is the best solution identified, and given the importance of the threat and time available to mitigate this threat, they include the local impacted communities and townships, the city of Bovee, Arbo Township, the Western Mesabi Mine Planning Board, Itasca County, the Department of IRRR, and the DNR. And I am open to any questions if there are any.
Thank you, Commissioner Trent. Representative Sandstede, any closing comments?
I appreciate you hearing this bill, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
We don't have any questions for you, Representative Sandstede. Thank you for coming before the committee. Next up is Chair Sundin, House File 2341. Please proceed, Chair Sundin. Chair Sundin, you're on mute right now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee. 2341 addresses the need for some office space and, more importantly, research areas for the Agriculture Utilization Research Institute. The work they do is has statewide impact, and to explain the intentions of the AURI board, I have with me today Mr. Ken Scogan that can fill us in on some of the details of this proposed project.
Mr. Scogan, please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Dan Scogan, Director of Government and Industry Relations for the Agricultural Utilization Research Institute, or AURI. I want to thank Representative Sundin for bringing 2341 forward, and to you, Chair Lee, for hearing it today. Over 30 years ago, the Minnesota State Legislature created AURI and tasked us with fostering long-term economic benefit for Minnesota through value-added agricultural products. We have laboratories in 3 cities in Minnesota. We're in Crookston, we're in Marshall, and we're in Waseca. And we have always leased our office space and our lab space. Well, in the last 3 or 4 years, we have saw lease rates continue to go up. And in fact, in Crookston, the college campus in Crookston decided that they wanted their lab space back. So we had to relinquish that. And as a result, the board of directors has now decided that they want to move forward with owning the buildings that we operate out of. We have plans to build a new office and lab space in Crookston, and to put our footprint in Waseca in one location. What happened in Waseca is we just outgrew our facility, and we're unable to find another location that would fit us. So we're looking for an opportunity to build down in Waseca. Right now we have our hemp decorticator, our drying equipment in one location, and our pelleting equipment in another location. It's not only inefficient, it's also creates some safety issues for our staff as they have to move about a mile apart between the buildings to try to do their work. It's a little over a $4 million project. We are doing a capital fund drive, getting that started right now. So we plan to have input from the community, some capital funds to be raised, and then we are asking the state to participate and help us build out our labs and offices in Waseca and in Crookston.
Thank you, Mr. Scogan. Chair Sundin, any closing comments?
I would just say again that the work that the AURI does has a tremendous statewide impact, and they're expanding their areas of interest into hemp production and meat production like never before, and it'd be much appreciated for support for this program. So thank you very much, Mr. Chair and committee.
Thank you, Chair Sundin. Next up, we have Representative Urdahl, House File 2346. Please proceed, Representative Urdahl.
Thank you, Chair Lee. And I'm pleased to present House File 2346 on behalf of the City of Pelican Rapids. This is a pool project, and I have a testifier, Amy King, who I will turn to now for the rest of the story.
Ms. King, please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Good morning. My name is Amy King, and I am the secretary of the Pelican Rapids Pool Committee and a representative of our city bringing this bill to you today. Thank you, Chair Lee. Thank you, Representative Urdahl, and thank you to the committee for hearing me this morning. We're thrilled to bring this project before you. We were before you last year, and we're bringing it once again. The Pelican Rapids Pool Committee and the City of Pelican Rapids is seeking funding to bring a state-of-the-art recreational facility to our community and to the larger regional area. The current facility that's in Pelican Rapids was built in 1978. It has reached a point of structural deterioration that is no longer reparable. It's becoming to the point where it's unsafe for our children, although each year we limp along and do try to open it. And so at this point, we are looking for a complete demolition and rebuild of our structure. Just to give you some background on our city, Pelican Rapids is a rural Minnesota city of 2,500 people, but we're very unique in the fact that we represent such a diverse community. We actually have 55% of our residents that represent non-European background heritage. We also have 22% of our community that lives below the national poverty average. And we have over 14 languages spoken here in our community. And so we truly represent a unique rural Minnesota community, and we're excited to bring this before you. The proposed facility is one of a kind. It would be one of 2 outdoor swimming facilities in Otter Tail County, and it would have the only water slide. This will be a true regional asset where it brings people from the lakes area into our community for tourism dollars, outdoor recreation, and just a wonderful facility for them to be able to use. We have looked at lots of different studies, and one of the things that has pushed this project forward is the fact that multicultural recreation facilities such as this really bond together people of different races, ethnicities, and physical modalities. This facility updates the current one to be ADA accessible. All people, regardless of ability, can access this new facility. And it will also provide bathhouse facilities for the adjacent park and campground that is in the same regional area, right in the heart of our city. This provides not only facilities for the pool facility, but also for the campground, for people who stay there, and for different festivals and things we have that go on throughout the year. It would provide public restroom facilities for that as well. I'm really proud of our small community. We have come together to raise over $2.5 million as a community, both private donations, corporate donations, and a commitment from our city. We're asking for $1.5 million from the Minnesota Bonding Appropriations Committee, and that would make our project finished. It is shovel ready to be completed in the next year, and we're very excited about it. And just the impact that can have not only on the citizens here that we represent that are unable to provide some of those opportunities for themselves, but also just for the regional area. I am happy to answer any questions that any of the chair or the committee has.
Thank you, Ms. King. Representative Urdahl, any closing comments?
Well, thank you, Chair Lee, for hearing this bill, and let's just dive right in.
Thank you, Representative Urdahl. Next up is House File 2340, Representative Olson. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, members, for the opportunity to present House File 2340.
Update on the coronavirus.
Requesting state funds for the replacement of the Grassy Point Swing Bridge in Duluth. And I'd first just like to say thank you to this committee for your support of the $3 million bonding grant to this project in 2020. Those dollars will help plan and engineer the replacement of the bridge and to leverage federal funds. However, more funding is needed to completely replace this aging and very critical piece of rail infrastructure. The Grassy Point Bridge is a railroad viaduct and bridge that connects Duluth and Superior, Wisconsin. The center section of the bridge is a swing bridge that allows for maritime navigation. The bridge is a critical rail connection between Minnesota and Wisconsin, and the route also carries rail traffic between Minneapolis and Duluth. The equipment that operates the swing bridge needs to be upgraded to restore reliability. This bridge is also a critical component to the Northern Lights Express train. And with me today is Mr. Ken Buehler, the chair of the Northern Lights Express Technical Advisory Committee, who can share more.
Mr. Buehler, please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ken Buehler. I live in Duluth, Minnesota. I am the chair of the Technical Advisory Committee for the Northern Lights Express project. And Mr. Chair and Representative Olson, thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to give an update on a plan to increase transportation options for a majority of Minnesotans, grow the economies of the 7-county metro area and in greater Minnesota, while at the same time decreasing our carbon footprint. The Northern Lights Express project is a passenger rail connection using existing railroad tracks to link Minneapolis with Duluth Superior. This is a train that will change everything. The Pacific Railroad Acts of 1862 were transformational for America. They authorized the building of the first transcontinental railway that united the country and, more importantly, built a nation. The Biden administration's American Jobs Plan will do even more, and the Northern Lights Express project is part of that infrastructure and jobs plan. More on that in a minute. But there are still parts of the NLX project that we need to do here in Minnesota, as Representative Olson mentioned. The NLX train will reach a top speed of 110 miles an hour and travel between Minneapolis and Duluth Superior in 2 hours and 20 minutes, with stops in North Foley, Cambridge, and Hinckley. While that trip is competitive with the automobile, your train ride turns wasted windshield time into productive time on the train. Jenny, if you would, please screen share my first slide. Thank you. There are 2 choke points on the route between the Twin Cities and the Twin Ports, and this is one of them, the Grassy Point drawbridge between Duluth and Superior. Traffic here slows to 5 miles an hour across a bridge that is over a century old. Speeding that up is one thing, but this span is also the only freight rail link between the vital port of Duluth and the rest of the nation. It's used by all 3 of the Class 1 railroads that serve the port of Duluth. When this bridge failed 2 years ago, it took over 6 weeks to repair, and the rail and shipping backlog took months to unscramble. It was kind of like having a ship stuck in the Minnesota rail version of the Suez Canal. Jenny, please switch to the next slide. Thank you. Thanks to this committee and the Minnesota legislature, there is $3 million from last year's bonding bill to help pay for the bridge project renewal. However, the upgrading of the bridge is estimated to be an investment of $17.5 million. House File 2340 being discussed here today fills the remaining $15.5 million gap. We need this commitment from the state of Minnesota to help leverage $500 million available through the Biden administration's American Jobs Plan to build the Northern Lights Express. In that pending legislation is an $80 billion appropriation for Amtrak to expand the national passenger rail network by connecting pair cities less than 500 miles apart. Too short to fly, too long to drive. Jenny, my last slide, please. Thank you. Northern Lights Express is in that plan. It's fully funded for 4 trains a day at an investment of $500 million. That means Amtrak pays for 100% of the project with brand new Venture Series passenger coaches and energy efficient lower emission diesel electric engines. Furthermore, the plan calls for Amtrak to run these trains and absorb all necessary support for 5 years before turning the funding responsibilities over to the states of Minnesota and Wisconsin under Part 209 of Amtrak's existing state partnership program. Now, here's the most important point, and it's spelled out here in the report from the Congressional Budget Office. Of all these newly proposed intercity pair connections, and there are about 30 of them, only one, as listed here, has a federal finding of no significant impact, or FONSI. That means we're the only shovel-ready project to make the list. Then you can drop the slides. Thank you very much for your help. I am pulling into the station. The Northern Lights Express checks all the boxes. It connects Minnesota's 2 cities of the first class, creates jobs, grows the metro and outstate economies, takes veterans to the VA hospital in Minneapolis. And per passenger mile, trains have the lowest carbon footprint of any form of transportation other than cruise ships. We're asking that you support House File 2340. Show Minnesota will work with Amtrak to build and operate the Northern Lights Express, a train that will change everything. I thank you all for your time this morning. I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Bueller. Representative Olson, any quick closing comments?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair and members, for consideration.
Thank you, Representative Olson. Next up, Representative Franke, House File 2310. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. House File 2310 is $500,000 for pre-design and design for the South St. Paul Library. It is a project between Dakota County and South St. Paul. And with me today, I have Commissioner Kathleen Gaylord, who I will relinquish my time to.
Commissioner Gaylord, please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm Commissioner Kathleen Gaylord. I'm Vice Chair of the Dakota County Board of Commissioners and also the former mayor of South St. Paul. And I'm very excited about what's happening right now with the South St. Paul Library as we are working to transition it into the Dakota County Library system. The South St. Paul Library has a very rich history that began in 1922 with a small storefront library. And in 1927, the library committee met and actually realized their dream of the first dedicated library building in Dakota County. And that all occurred more than 40 years before the Dakota County library system even began. So it has a long history and tradition in the city of South St. Paul. But as I'm sure you're aware, lots of things have changed from the 1920s with libraries, and certainly from the 1960s when it did its last major renovation. The building needs a lot of attention. And so we are in the process of working with both the city and the county on bringing the South St. Paul Library into the Dakota County system with a new building. Hopefully on the current site, although that is presenting some major challenges to us because it is a very confined site, and we may need to do something very creative to create a new urban library to meet the needs of the South St. Paul residents. So very excited about this opportunity, and hope you can support Representative Franke's bill.
Thank you, Commissioner Gaylor. Representative Franke, any quick closing comments?
Thank you for your time, Mr. Chair. This is a good bill. We've been trying to get it across the line for a few years now. We have all the partners in place. And once again, thank you, members, for your time.
Thank you, Representative Franke. Next up, we have Chair Hansen, draft language quoted CG 107-1. Please proceed, Chair Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. This is the Mighty Ducks program, also known as the James P. Metzen Mighty Ducks program, in honor of our former senator from South St. Paul. And this has been an ongoing program that helps upgrade facilities. And the important part for climate is it's replacing a refrigerant that has negative climate impacts. So it's an infrastructure program that also has a climate benefit as we upgrade these facilities through a grant program. And I have someone here from the Sports Commission to talk about the program.
We have Mr. Johnson. Please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Thanks, Chairman Lee. Todd Johnson, Executive Director of the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission. Representative Hansen is absolutely right. This wonderful program is named in honor of former Senator Metzen. Continues to get funding every now and again, as it does. We, as the National Sports Center and the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, merely administer these funds, and we set up the process whereby ice facilities across the state of Minnesota can apply for matching grants in order to replace two things. One is, as Representative Hansen correctly stated, to replace the R22, the refrigerant that is banned actually in the Montreal Protocol and is no longer even for sale. So ice rinks need to switch out these facilities. And secondly is for air quality improvements and for energy efficiency opportunities for those ice rinks. So obviously we would be happy to administer any funds that are available in this program, and we're doing so right now, and there's plenty of demand.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Chair Hansen, any closing comments?
I would defer to Representative Lilly, who also is a supporter of the program.
Chair Lilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Representative Hansen. No, I think everything was well covered. It's a great program, and it goes statewide, and I think it would well serve our state getting this done. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Lilly and Chair Hansen. Next up is Chair Lilly, House File 2395. Before that, I'm sorry, I apologize. We have draft language CG 110. Please proceed, Chair Lilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. And so this is the Metropolitan Parks and Trails funding bill, and it's really a neat program. It's not really my bill. It's kind of serves the whole metro. There's 10 governing agencies that are served by this, and as everybody's seeing, there's just amazing use. Yesterday I went by Lake Phelan, and you know, everybody's out, you know, of course, with that warm weather and the wear and tear, and so this helps the system for everybody. it's not a partisan bill or anything. It's not mine. It's just helps serve the metro parks, which are seeing amazing pressure and use. So I have with me today Mr. McCabe, who's kind of speaking for the 10 agencies, and he'll kind of say what this is in greater detail. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair Lilly. So before we go to Mr. McCabe, I do want to clarify that now we will be on House File 2395, and after this bill, we'll go back to the draft language code is CG 110, which is the asset preservation for the National Sports Center. So Mr. McCabe, please proceed.
Sorry, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Representative Lilly and committee members. My name is Mark McCabe. I'm the director of Ramsey County Parks and Recreation, but as Representative Lilly said, I'm here representing the Metropolitan Regional Parks agencies, speaking in support of House File 2395, which is seeking funding for the Metro Regional Parks and Trails System. As you can see, the Metro Regional Trails Agency or Metro Regional Park agencies are comprised of 10 agencies, which are listed on this slide. Much like the state parks, the regional parks have a regional draw and serve a regional audience. Capital funds that are obtained are utilized by the regional park agencies to implement the Met Council's Regional Parks Policy Plan. You'll see that the system is quite large. There are 56 regional parks and park preserves, over 60 million visitors in 2019, and we know with the COVID-19 pandemic that we received as much as double of the usage in many of our park facilities, so several million more visitors than we had in 2019. And as Representative Lilly said, that does create quite an impact and wear and tear on the infrastructure. We like to say that our park system is being loved to death, so we need funding to take care of it. It's over 56,000 acres of lands that we are environmental stewards for and want to take that job seriously. And also there's 415 miles of regional trail, and that trail is continuing to be built out every year, closing gaps and making our communities more connected. This bill would call for an appropriation of $10 million to be invested in the regional parks and trails system, and funding would be utilized for capital improvements and strategic acquisitions of lands to preserve these unique spaces and invest in that infrastructure. The implementing agencies have identified 22 projects that are shovel ready and would be funded by this bill. These projects are also beneficial in that they create jobs in the community. They serve a diverse population. They help preserve these heavily utilized park assets and the natural environment. You can see on this slide, kind of small on the screen, but within your handouts I'm sure you've received, the individual projects are broken down by park agency. So you can see the specifics there. And the formula for funding is basically based on attendance as well as acreage and operation and maintenance resources that go into these park systems. So there's a formula there that derives that allocation of funding. Just like to say thank you all for your time. We sincerely appreciate it and would appreciate your support of House File 2395 and are available for any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Mr. McCabe. Chair Lilly, any closing comment on this bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, members, for hearing this. As you can tell, I'm super excited. Driving by Phelan yesterday, I just love seeing all the people out, and it was just everybody. It was every type of mode of moving, bikes and just walking and then running, and then all sorts of mixed humanity, which is wonderful, and every type of dog you can imagine too. So anyways, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair Lilly. Now we'll go to your draft language code of CG 110. This is the a bill draft for the National Sports Center asset preservation. Please proceed, Chair Lilly.
Thank you, Chair Lee and members. I'm sorry I goofed up on that last. Good cover for me. So this bill, the National Sports Center serves all of Minnesota. Also, they've got a huge sporting events that happen out in Blaine, and they're a lot like our state. Minnesota Zoo or other facilities or a state facility. And, we don't really, we don't help them very much. So obviously they have like everything, like the universities and all these other facilities have a lot of need for maintenance. They've got quite a few buildings, and so this would be a way to help them with their asset preservation. I have the folks from the National Sports Center, if they want to hop on quick and tell us what they're thinking of doing with some of this money. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair Lilly. I have Mr. Ladd. Please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Mr. Chair, it's Todd Johnson. Neil Ladd is in the room with me too, but I'll go ahead and start, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed, Mr. Johnson.
And I'll be real quick. Most of you members are quite familiar with the National Sports Center. We are going to share a little map here just so you can see the scope of our campus. Those of you who don't know, or just a quick reminder, it's a nearly 700-acre facility that the state of Minnesota has purchased and built buildings on over the past 30 years. And I'm here to tell you about the success story that it is, which you all know about. But so far, the state of Minnesota, over these 32 years, has invested about $32 million into this facility. And according to the Department of Administration's facility assessment, condition assessment, most recent one from last September, the replacement value of this facility at this time is $170 million. Specifically, I could drill down right to our 8 sheets of ice that the state of Minnesota has put in $2 million into these 8 sheets of ice here, just $2 million. And the replacement value on them is nearly over $101 million right now. As you would suspect, just like any other campus or college campus with nearly 30 buildings on our campus and the infrastructure, there is tons of deferred maintenance. And according to the facility assessment, that amounts to nearly $45 million. This bill simply, I know it seems like a large sum of money, but it gets at us being able to tackle some of those major asset preservations so we can continue to do the job that we do up here. Just so people know, one last reminder, it's the second largest tourist attraction in the state of Minnesota. It provides nearly in 2019, 2020, of course, is a terrible year to use as a reference for anything, but 2019, it provided nearly $100 million in economic impact to the state of Minnesota through taxes and through out-of-state visitors. Again, 4 million visitors. Most of those people who come to our facility, even though it's known as, we run the 3rd largest international soccer tournament in the world up here. It is still basically a Minnesota used facility, and your sons, daughters, grandchildren, and constituents have all participated here in one sport or another. So again, it's an asset preservation. It's no fancy new buildings. It's making sure that we continue to have the services available for both economic development and for our citizens to use for sporting activities.
Thank you. We have a question from Representative West.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just really quick for the members of the committee, I just want to say the Sports Center only has a couple $100,000 appropriation from the state that it gets recurringly. We do help at bonding every so often, but the return the state and especially my community gets from the Sports Center is just a ridiculously good investment. So they don't ask for much very often. So I would highly recommend investing in them because it's been a great return since its inception.
Thank you, Representative West. Chair Lilly, any closing comments?
Thank you, Chair Lee, and thank you for hearing it. I know the bill is coming fast, but and that's why the XX file, but it's really, they've been great work, and please get out there if you haven't been there, but what a great state asset. People come from all over the world and all over the state, and it's really a true treasure. So thank you, Chair Lee.
Thank you, Chair Lilly. So next up, we will have a presentation from the Department of Human Services on the governor's supplemental bonding recommendations for the MSOP program, which is coded 21-03926, and 2, modification from DHS coded 21-03925 and 21-03927. Welcome to the committee, Deputy Commissioner Johnson. Please identify yourself for the record and proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and committee members. My name is Chuck Johnson. I serve as Deputy Commissioner for Operations at the Minnesota Department of Human Services. I believe we have a PowerPoint slide that we would like to put up.
Achoo.
Thank you. Next slide, please. Thanks, members. I'm going to talk with you today about the Minnesota Sex Offender Program, which has two sites, one in Moose Lake and one in St. Peter. The St. Peter site is shared with the Minnesota Mental Health Forensics Program, which many of you know is Minnesota Security Hospital. We'll be focusing on the St. Peter campus in this conversation. Next slide. Minnesota Sex Offender Program serves over 700 clients. You can see the breakdown here between the facilities and where they're served. I would like to point here to community preparation services, which is where we'll be focusing some of our conversation today. This sits on the St. Peter campus outside of the secure perimeter. We're currently serving 88 clients in that program. That is the max amount based on the bed space that we have. You can see there we have 47 clients who are awaiting transfer to CPS, but we don't have space for them right now. Next slide. So the front door and the back door of the Minnesota Sex Offender Program, how clients move through the program, is controlled by the courts, not by the Department of Human Services. Individuals who come into the program are civilly committed by the county in the court. And for any discharge or transfer that happens within the program, that also has to be approved by the courts. You can see here we have a secure facility in Moose Lake, a secure facility in St. Peter. Moose Lake tends to be the facility where people start out in treatment. St. Peter is where they move after they've progressed in treatment. We also have a couple of specialty programs for people who don't work within the traditional treatment program at the St. Peter site. And then we have community preparation services, CPS here, that is on the St. Peter campus, but is outside of the secure facility. So it's outside of the razor wire. This is where we serve individuals who have been ordered there by the court via a transfer from one of the secure facilities to CPS. And this is for people that have advanced very far into treatment and are now in a place where they need some continued treatment, but also need to start working on adjusting to the potential for going back into the community. And as I said before, we currently have 88 clients who are in this program, but we have a number who have been ordered to be in this program, but we don't have space for them. We also have provisionally discharged clients. Those are individuals the court has put out into the community. We continue to supervise those individuals through the Sex Offender Program Reintegration Program. We currently have 32 provisionally discharged clients living across the state. The state, over the course of the history of the program, the courts have also fully discharged 13 individuals, and those are individuals we have no jurisdiction over anymore. Next slide. So the phase 2 of our work for the St. Peter campus related to the community preparation services. As I said, we right now have a backup of individuals for community preparation services, 47 who are on a waiting list. These individuals have been ordered by the court to move into community preparation services, but we don't have space for them. As a result, we have gotten several legal challenges, a couple right now in district court. We've also had a contempt complaint that has been put through with a commitment appeal panel saying that we are in contempt of court for not having followed the order to transfer one of the individuals. Some individuals could wait as long as 2 years to get from the secure facility into CPS, even though they have the right to be there now. Not only does this create legal risk, it's also unfair to those individuals that have worked hard at the treatment and are ready to move to CPS, but we don't have that space for them. Next slide, please. So this is the request to address that issue for $17.8 million. This would add 30 beds for community preparation services and also remodel the program space on campus. This would give us the capacity to meet the growing need for the program, as well as the programming space for the individuals who are in the program. Next slide, please. A little bit more detail. This is a renovation remodel project. We're not building anything. We're renovating a couple of older buildings. There's about 55,000 square feet in these two buildings that we'll be doing renovation on. The first building is the Sunrise building. I'll do that first, which is kind of that spaceship-shaped one at the bottom there with the circle around it. Sunrise is a building where we will do some renovation to create the 30 beds of space for individuals. There's also currently a medical clinic there that we will renovate to make into the medical clinic for the entire program. In addition to this, we'll also do some remodeling on the Tomlinson Hall. Tomlinson is the one at the top there, about $7.5 million. This is a building we would use for programming space, a recreation chapel, library, group space, staff space, which currently doesn't exist for community preparation services. Many of the individuals who have been ordered out, have been moved out of into community preparation services, have to go back into the secure facilities in order to get the program that they need. We would like to correct that and have all the services available on the campus, but outside of the secure facilities for these individuals. I'd also note here that last year, we were provided $1.8 million for this project. We used that in addition, or are using that in addition to about $2.5 million of previously appropriated asset preservation dollars to do some renovation in the Green Acres building, which is the one you can see it's kind of right below Sunrise, shaped like a spaceship as well. We're doing some renovation in that building to create 20 beds. So that work is already underway to create 20 additional beds that would be in addition to the 30 that this project would bring us, as well as the programming space. Those beds will go online December of this year, January of next year. Next slide, please. So that's the request for the sex offender program. The governor also recommends asset preservation for our direct care and treatment area within DHS. Next slide, please. We have over 162 buildings that we own, more than 2.5 million square feet, and we have deferred maintenance in excess of 160 million across the system. This is 4.21 million recommendation for asset preservation. It is for the normal asset preservation, windows and roofs and HVAC, parking lot security systems. This in particular would benefit our large campuses on St. Peter, Anoka, Moose Lake, and Brainerd, in addition to about 100 group homes we have across the state that also would benefit from some of these dollars. Next slide. We also have a couple of proposals that have been requested to look at where we might be able to reallocate asset preservation funds, and we have a couple of opportunities here within our system that would be very helpful. Next slide. The first is at the Anoka Metro Regional Treatment Center. This is a hospital that serves psychiatric patients in Anoka. 2018 were provided $6.75 million in asset preservation money to do roof and HVAC work on this building. We did the roof work and completed it under budget. We're stalled on the HVAC work because we have to do asbestos abatement in order to finish the HVAC work. In order to do the asbestos abatement, we need to have some additional space, some swing space to move clients and patients so we can do the abatement, so we can do the HVAC work. This would allow us to reallocate $2 million from underspending on the roof project into the HVAC project, would allow us to do the renovation of that space, which would allow us to move the staff, do the abatement, and then finish the HVAC work for this facility. Then finally, we have an asset preservation reallocation request for St. Peter. A couple of years ago, we were provided funding to renovate the kitchen, next slide, in St. Peter. Large kitchen that serves over 700 individuals on that campus. We came in about $400,000 under budget. We'd like to reallocate that money back into general asset preservation use. We have about $83 million in deferred maintenance on the St. Peter campus. That, Mr. Chair, I can take any questions.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Seeing no questions from member, we can proceed to MMB. Ms. Jorgensen, please proceed with your, please identify yourself and please proceed with your presentation.
Good morning, Chair Lee and members of the committee. My name is Amy Jorgensen, and I'm the director of the COVID-19 Response Accountability Office. I seem to be having some trouble with my video. There we go. All right, we can bring up the slides, please.
Ms. Jorgensen, is it supposed to be Ms. Nash or somebody from MMB managing your slide? Okay, we got it now.
Here we go. Thank you, Ellen. Okay, thank you. So we're here today to talk about the American Rescue Plan and its affiliation with capital projects. Next slide, please. All right, so with the American Rescue Plan for capital projects, the objectives of this is to outline the types of capital project funding in the American Rescue Plan, reviewing federal bill language for capital project funding, and highlight the need for caution as federal guidance has not yet been shared. Next slide. This is a summary of the estimated Minnesota allocations based on FFIS, or the Federal Funds Information for States Analysis. So the first three lines here outline the amount for the State Fiscal Relief Fund in the amount of about $2.6 billion, which is the money that will be coming directly to the state. There's also the Local Fiscal Relief Fund, which is actually three separate pots of money, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then the Capital Projects Fund of about $179 million. The rest of these lines here are program-specific funds that will be going directly to state agencies. Next slide, Ellen. So as you can see here, this is a summary of those first three lines. So the State Fiscal Relief Fund in the amount of about $2.6 billion, that's funding that will be coming directly to the state for flexible uses. The Local Fiscal Relief Fund is a combination of about $1 billion that will be going directly to the counties, and then about $600 million that will be going directly to metro cities, the larger metro cities, and then a little over $400 million that will be going to the smaller local governments, which will be administered through MMB. And then the small slice here, the blue portion, the light blue portion, is the capital projects amount of about $179 million. Next slide, Ellen. So for those state and local fiscal recovery funds, again, the estimated Minnesota state allocation of about $2.6 billion, and then the local allocation of about $2.125 billion. The available uses as we know them right now, based on the cold read of the language in the law, is that we can respond to public health emergency or its negative economic impacts, including assistance to households, small businesses and nonprofits, impacted industries and essential workers, replace revenue losses due to the COVID-19 public health emergency relative to revenues collected in the most recent full fiscal year. So we're assuming that means our fiscal year 2019. Necessary state, local, and tribal investments in water, sewer, or broadband infrastructure. So that is an allowable use. And then these monies are available for costs through December 31st, 2024. Next slide. For the state and local fiscal recovery fund, so state and local governments will certify with the U.S. Treasury to receive the funds, and those funds will be available 60 days after certification. As far as I know, we have not received any information yet from U.S. Treasury about the certification process or received any dates or timelines. We also are unclear at this point about what the reporting procedures are. Again, we have received no further eligibility guidance except for just what we're reading in the bill. And then we're also unclear about the disbursement process. There is some language in the bill that talks about that the Treasury has the authority to grant, to give us half the money now and then half the money a year from now, but we're not clear at this point how they're going to proceed with that. Next slide, Ellen. So the ARP Capital Projects Fund, which was that light blue slice on the pie chart that I showed you before, the estimated Minnesota allocation is about $179 million. In the ARP bill text, which we've got highlighted and linked for you here, it says that funding is for critical capital projects directly enabling work, education, and health monitoring, including remote options in response to the public health emergency. The U.S. Treasury fact sheet, which we also have linked for you here, says that the ARP covers costs of capital projects like broadband infrastructure. It also says in the law language that the U.S. Treasury will have an application process for states within 60 days of enactment, and we estimate that will be, we'll have more information before the middle of May. And again, we don't know at this point what the application process looks like, what the reporting process looks like, or any further eligibility guidance beyond the language of the law. Next slide, Ellen. As far as the administration of the ARP funds, MMB did submit information to the legislature for the 20-day LAC submission on March 19th to cover the outline use of those funds. The timeline for the U.S. Treasury distribution to the states is unknown. The requirement is within 60 days of state certification. I just want to reiterate again, no Treasury guidance is available for the flexible funding sources, and we do not anticipate that it will be available for several weeks. And the capital project fund, again, as I said, requires a direct application to the Treasury, and we're awaiting guidance on that process. Next slide, Ellen. Just a few other considerations. The American Rescue Plan is focused on immediate health and economic crises, providing immediate and direct relief to families and workers. State agencies are waiting for federal guidance on how specific ARP funds can or cannot be used for capital projects. If you'll remember that first slide, one of the first slides that I showed you had quite a long list of funding sources, and they are waiting for guidance. The agencies are, just as we are at MMB. And then some of you might be familiar with a new proposal from President Biden, the American Jobs Plan, which also looks like it may see additional investments in long-term capital type of projects. Next slide. We also have a slide here that has a link to resources. So you can see here the American Rescue Plan bill text, the U.S. Treasury ARP fact sheet, U.S. Treasury website, and then a White House briefing room release on the American Jobs Plan fact sheet, which is something that is an idea right now, has not been passed through Congress at this point. Next slide, Ellen. Okay. With that, I will stand for any questions, Chair Lee.
Representative Urdahl. Representative Urdahl, you're on mute right now.
All right, there I am. All right, thank you, Mr. Chair and Ms. Jorgensen. I'm not sure who best answers this, but I'm maybe Chair Lee, and what I'm wondering is how do you see this dovetailing into what we're doing with bonding? A lot of these federal dollars can be used for things that are traditionally funded in a capital investment bill. Are you anticipating that we add this to the bill that we are doing or will be doing? Or is this going to be something separate later? What is your plan?
Thank you, Representative Urdahl. Your questions are questions that I'm having right now too, and that's why we're bringing MMB forth to provide some information so that we could move forward together and really see what can we do. I do have some questions similar to yours too, where if the administration is planning to replace some of their budget recommendations with the federal funds or not. I think those are some outstanding questions that we can ask right now to Ms. Jorgensen, and if we don't have any questions, that we could follow up with Commissioner Showalter himself after this hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I think obviously that's an important question. Perhaps Ms. Jorgensen has an opinion as to, as you just indicated, will this result in changes in what the governor has proposed to us in terms of how we put together a capital investment bill?
Ms. Jorgensen.
Chair Lee, Representative Urdahl, we're also very early in the process right now, and I do not have any further information on how this is going to impact the governor's recommendations at this point.
Representative Urdahl.
All right, thank you. We need to find that out, obviously, as soon as possible. So I would encourage some stepped up analysis of how this is going to be done.
Thank you, Representative Urdahl. Representative Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Ms. Jorgensen. I was looking at the calendar and trying to count out 20 days. Are we at the 20 days of the LAC today, or is my math off?
Ms. Jorgensen.
Chair Lee and Representative Hansen, I believe the date is April 8th.
Chair Hansen.
Mr. Chair and Ms. Jorgensen, so what does that mean then when we come to tomorrow with the LAC notification? Is it just that, and I understand there's been a hold put on it. What do those things mean for us?
Ms. Jorgensen.
Chair Lee, Representative Hansen, it's my understanding that the 20-day LAC submission is a process that is outlined in statute, and that's the 20 days at that point. I'm not 100% clear on what it means when you say the funds are put on hold. So I would probably defer that question possibly to Budget Director Rattan. But my understanding is that when the 20 days is up on April 8th, there's either a recommendation or no recommendation at that point.
Budget Director Rattan, can you identify yourself for the record and answer the question from Chair Hansen?
I apologize, Chair Lee, she is not on the call, so we would have to ask her that question separately.
Okay, it would be great if you could follow up. Chair Hansen.
Yep, absolutely.
Mr. Chair, and maybe nonpartisan staff would have the answer. I know it might be a little bit outside of their strike zone, but if they have an answer on terms of procedure, I think it'd be helpful for the committee. And then I have one follow-up question, maybe while they're looking for that is, so do the agencies have to get their requests into MMB and then MMB provides that to the governor, or what's the internal process?
Ms. Jorgensen.
Chair Lee and Representative Hansen. So MMB is in the early phases right now of gathering information from the agencies for potential projects that would fit the scope of the American Rescue Plan, but it's really too early to provide any detail at this point.
Thank you, Ms. Jorgensen. Ms. Griffin or Mr. Lee, do you have any guidance on Chair Hansen's question around the LAC process?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, I do not, but I can look into it, or Ms. Jorgensen can provide more information after committee.
Mr. Lee?
Mr. Chair, yeah, I can. I don't have the statute in front of me, but I can summarize from past experience with it. The LAC process allows I believe it's 3 members in the House and 3 members in the Senate. Usually it's the chair of the relevant committee and the Speaker and Majority Leader and Ways and Means and Finance chairs to raise an objection or put on hold federal funds during the legislative session. This is when we're coming to the end of that 20-year window when they can put that hold on. Absent the legislature passing a law either restricting or directing the funds during the legislative session, after the session ends, the executive branch does have authority to spend those federal funds. That's my recollection from past experience, but I will forward to the committee the statute that applies or that is relevant.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. And Ms. Jorgensen, to Chair Hansen's point, I believe there is a request for a hold from Senator Kiffmeyer on specifically the non-operating request for the state fiscal relief and for capital projects for all fiscal years. And so that's the hold that Chair Hansen was asking about. Chair Lilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And boy, this is super fascinating. So, we're coming to our May 17th deadline quick fast. And so it's, all this money and it's confusing. We're putting our bills together, and so there's layers and layers of through this committee, and then like legacy committee that I work with, and then others, but other bills. So do you know what, like on higher ed, quite a bit of this bill goes to higher ed. Will they be getting money? So, capital projects, is that part of your understanding, or you're not sure there? So what level should we be funding? I guess I'm kind of questioning.
Ms. Jorgensen.
Chair Lee and Representative Lilly. So we did talk a little bit with the agencies about some of the specific funding sources that they're going to be receiving. And just like we are for the state and local relief fund, they are also still waiting for guidance as far as how those funds can be spent. So obviously the timing of the passage of the bill and then the timing of the guidance that we're receiving from the federal government is it's outside of our control. But we will definitely work to, as soon as we receive any type of information or any type of guidance, we will work to inform the legislature about what we know. But right now it's pretty silent at the federal level as far as guidance goes.
Shirley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And then so I'm wondering, do you know anything on so the DNR and Metro Parks, do you know what, would there be trail money or repairs, given that the demand and use with COVID is increased? Are you aware of anything there? Because, we're all funding this in different also.
Ms. Jorgensen?
Yeah, Chair Lee and Representative Lilly, I am not aware of the funding that's going to the DNR. It might be good to direct that question directly to that department.
And then one final
Chair
question.
Lilly, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry to ask so many questions, but then I was wondering, is there capital assistance coming for seniors or disabled folks, you know, related to the COVID too? That one seems to make a lot of sense, helping the elderly and disabled.
Ms. Jorgensen?
Chair Lee and Representative Lilly, I know there are line items in the ARP for human services, specifically type of programs, and I believe there are a few in there that are also elderly related.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Jorgensen, thank you.
Thank you, Chair Lilly. And Ms. Jorgensen, to that point, I think Representative Lilly was referring to the line item under the FTA, capital assistance grants for organizations that serve elderly and or person with disabilities. And I'm also interested in knowing if it's possible for us to, under the FTA funding, there is a line item for capital and operating transit funding. Will this cover some of the transit funding that we may consider here in the Capital Investment Committee going forward, specifically, you know, around bus rapid transit or other transit need? And I believe in the line item, it's for transit funding for small, urban, and rural areas. So Greater Minnesota Transit and all of that.
Okay. So Chair Lee, we did speak a little bit with Metropolitan Council as well as DOT. And again, they're waiting for the guidance from the federal government, but it appears that the funding is not much capital related. When they're talking about capital, they're talking more about capital in terms of funding. And so at the initial read of the bill does not look like there's a lot in that funding for capital investment. However, you know, as I referenced in the presentation, the American Jobs Act, it looks like there might be, you know, a lot of conversation and a lot of potential funding for those areas in that bill.
Thank you, Ms. Jorgensen. And you know, I think it'll be worthwhile. We'll connect with the Met Council to provide an opinion on that too. And as we find out more detail, the committee will appreciate any information that you can share with us. Representative Hewitt.
Thank you, Chair Lee. And Mrs. Jorgensen, I would be remorse if I did not ask about possible funding for the zoo in this process. Do you see any pathway for the zoo to, as a state agency, to receive any funds to help with some of the projects there?
Ms. Jorgensen.
Chair Lee and Representative Hewitt. I know that there is a piece in the bill that talks about shuttered venues, and they have to have lost a particular percentage of their revenue due to the pandemic. I do not know at this point if there is going to be something for the Minnesota Zoo.
Thank you, Ms. Jorgensen. Members, any questions for Ms. Jorgensen before we adjourn for the day? Representative Lilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just real quickly, since we have a few seconds, can I ask an arts-related question? Ms. Jorgensen, do you know how the arts funding is coming down? I know that's not capital investment, I'm sorry, but maybe it is if it's buildings or facilities, but what do you know about that?
Ms. Jorgensen.
Chair Lee and Representative Lilly, I don't know a whole lot about that. We can certainly check into that and get back to you if we have any further information.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jorgensen, for coming in today. I know that it's tough for us to ask you these questions without federal guidance, and so I really appreciate the work that you and the staff over at MMB and the commissioner is doing in providing this for us. Members, that concludes our hearing today. Our next meeting is on Thursday, April 8th at 8:30. We will hear equity bills on an informational-only basis. Thursday hearings will finish up our presentation on individual members' bonding bills. The 2021 omnibus bonding bill is scheduled for rollout, public testimony, and markup next week, the week of April 12th. Details for next week's schedule will be emailed and posted on the committee's website. This meeting is adjourned.